October gave us Super Mario Odyssey, and it was a fantastic month for the Nintendo Switch in general. But it is time to look onward and forward. Hello everybody, Gabe from Switch Force here, and today we are going to look at over 20 games coming to the Nintendo Switch. Again, I am saying over because some of these don't have a specific date. I will go along by release date, so of course if there's something you're really excited for and you haven't seen it on the list, wait and we'll get to it once the date comes up. But without further ado, I feel like we can get started here. First up, we have Wheels of Aralia, which is out on the 2nd of November for $9.99 on the eShop. For those of you unfamiliar with the game, let's talk a little bit about it. It is an interactive visual novel. You embark on an immersive road trip through the gritty western coast of Italy during the roaring 1970s. You play as Lella, a bold, spunky woman experiences the sights and sounds of a tumultuous time in Italy's history while uncovering events from Lella's storied past. So this is a visual novel for $9.99. You're getting what seems to be a very cool story filled with intrigue. There's kidnapping. There are different endings, 16 different endings to be exact, and depending on which path you take in the game, you do get one of those said endings, so there is some replayability. It's rooted in research and culturally accurate events during the 1970s, and it's a time of political turmoil for the time, so this game seems super interesting to me. I'm definitely going to check it out for sure. It's a visual novel. I don't play a lot of those, but I feel like the Switch would be a good one for good console for that. Maybe some touchscreen capabilities as well would be pretty great. So there you have it. That is out again November 2nd for $9.99. After that, we get into what is probably one of the most anticipated days of the month for people. 3 releases in total, 2 retail, 1 eShop, and we will get into with the first retail release here. We have Farming Simulator Nintendo Switch Edition, the most complete farming simulator experience according to the Nintendo website where the listing is. Take on the challenges of the modern farmer, explore a huge open world including a detailed North American environment loaded with farming activities over hundreds of acres of land. Drive over 250 authentic farming vehicles and equipment from over 75 manufacturers. So if you haven't heard of Farming Simulator, it's exactly what it sounds like. It isn't for everybody, but those people that really like it, they love it a lot, and it is coming to Switch. So finally, you can get your hands on that. Again, November 7th, $49.99, both at retail and on the eShop. After that, we will move on to the eShop only release of the day. Heroes of the Monkey Tavern. So, relive the golden age of dungeon crawlers in a simplified version fully adapted for consoles. So, for those of you unfamiliar with this, it was an old PC game that is now coming to Nintendo Switch. I personally don't know very much about it at all. I haven't played it, but like the description said, is that it is a dungeon crawler, and you can check it out for $9.99 on November 7th. The second retail release that is also on eShop is the biggest release of the day, Sonic Forces. Everybody is familiar with what Sonic Forces is. We just got Super Mario Odyssey. Now it's time to see what the Blue Hedgehog has in store for us. I'm actually kind of excited for the game, even though I don't feel like it'll be anywhere near as awesome as Odyssey. Still exciting. You get to play 3 different playstyles. You have the Sonic Adventure 3D style. You have the more traditional 2D Sonic style with little chubby Sonic. And for the first time, you can create your own character. And not a full release, $49.99. I mean, it is a full release. I mean, not full price. $49.99. It can be yours November 7th. Everybody's familiar with what Sonic Forces is, so I don't need to dwell on it too much. Let's just say that it is another one to be excited for this month. Next up, we have a little bit of a weird day for the Nintendo Switch. There are 3 games coming out, but they are Japan exclusive. Of course, there could be other games that we just don't know about quite yet, but as of now, these 3 are only going to be available in Japan. And I'm going to read through them rapid fire here since I don't know very much about them. 1, Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. You can play that on other platforms here in America, so if you have PlayStation 4, you can go ahead and play that. But if you want to play it on Switch, now would be the time to do so. Japan only. You're going to need those eShop points from Japan, of course, to download this. 2nd, Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada. 3rd, Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. I've heard of Warriors Orochi, not super familiar with it. Don't know what Samurai Warriors is. So, have at it. They're there. I just wanted to include them just because I know that people do enjoy playing games from other regions, and Dynasty Warriors has I assume been popular for a long time because there's just so many games. So there you have it. 3 Japan-only releases that you should be made aware of if you want to get your hands on them. Next up, we have what might be my favorite release day of the month. November 10th gives us 2 games. One, Doom, the best FPS of 2016 and one of the best FPS of the last few years in general, is coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is an important game. We are going to see how the Switch can handle a big, graphically intensive game. If this is going to be a good port, then I feel like third-party support going forward should be pretty easy breezy. Doom is fantastic. It's frenetic, super fast-paced. They are going to include the multiplayer. Of course, it is a separate download, but I'm curious to see how that ends up. There is a lot to look forward to with Doom. It's just a phenomenal game. I love it. Zach absolutely loves it. We played it a lot. Me playing it on PC primarily, like close to 4K. It's going to be a little weird to play it on the Switch, but I'm still excited to see how that turns out. After that, the second release for the 10th of November here is Snipperclips Plus Cut It Out Together. Ooh, what more can I say about Snipperclips that I haven't said before? I absolutely love the game. I feel like it's the perfect game to just, play with strangers. Playing Snipperclips with strangers, I know that sounds funny, but it's something I actually enjoyed doing when the game originally came out. Just because, the mixture of, having to work together and having to just behave yourself and not yell at the person like, hey, do this. Of course, it's also perfect to play with your significant other, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, doesn't matter. Snipperclips is just all types of fun, and I'm glad that it is coming out with a extra plus edition along with the DLC here. This is also retail. Doom is retail as well. And you should check both of those out. Again, this is like my favorite day, I think, for releases here, just because of Snipperclips probably, and very, very curious to see how Doom turns out. But the next day that we have here is going to be even bigger. November 14th is a big day for releases, 6 total, all coming to retail and eShop, and let's just go ahead and get started here with probably the biggest, even though that's debatable, don't hate me. Batman Telltale Season 1, I say it's the biggest just because it's Batman, but, it is a Telltale game, it is a re-release. Season 1 has been fully available on other platforms for some time now. Season 2 is currently happening, and if we have any hopes of getting Season 2 on the Nintendo Switch, you're probably going to want to purchase Season 1. I've played the first couple of episodes. I'd never finished it. I think that this is a very good Batman story. From what I've played, people do seem to enjoy it rather, and Season 2 is trucking along. So I feel like if we support this, then maybe Telltale brings future seasons to the Switch as well, and maybe day and date going forward. Probably impossible now for Season 2 at this point, but you never know. A hypothetical Season 3, or maybe even another series. If Telltale sees that the support is there, I'm sure that they will be there as well. After that, we have a game that I know absolutely nothing about, Ben 10 for the Nintendo Switch. Retails for $30. It's up on Amazon. You can go check it out. It seems to be like a 2D brawler type game. I'm not familiar with Ben 10 at all, so I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you very much about the game, but, if you have children, maybe this is good. It's a $30 release as opposed to $60, and you can go ahead and get that as well. After that, It'll Do 2 Plus, another Nicholas game on the Nintendo Switch, hitting retail for $29.99 as well as eShop. It's a charming and humorous 3D action-adventure game with a focus on exploration and combat. You tackle the game's dungeons in any order and discover the many secrets of its expansive overworld. Alright, so another one that I really haven't played. I had never even heard of It'll Do 2 Plus, but it looks kind of cool. So, maybe we'll check it out, do a Let's Play for you guys. $30, both on eShop and retail. It can be yours. After that, a big game, LA Noire, getting the re-release, the full experience coming to Nintendo Switch. Rockstar's first outing. It was a surprising announcement when it happened, just to see Rockstar coming to a Nintendo platform, although it has happened in the past. It wasn't something we expected, but LA Noire is getting re-released, HDified in other platforms as well. So it's fantastic that it is also coming to the Nintendo Switch day and date. Zach absolutely loves this game. He played it quite a bit when it originally came out, and we're excited for this. Another important day for third-party support here. Batman and LA Noire, plus the next game on the list here. all very important to third parties and show just how much support there's going to be here on the Switch. From there, we go to Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. The full experience, along with the other platforms, is coming to Nintendo Switch on November 14th. Full retail price, $60. It's a Lego Marvel game. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 holds a very special place in my heart. I played that, Lego Marvel Superheroes, the original, holds a very, it holds a special place in my heart because I played it so darn much when it originally came out. I had a lot of fun with that. This is absolutely perfect to play with your younger siblings or kids, whatever. You can play co-op at the exact same time with split Joy-Con. I feel like this one's going to be a really, really good one. After that, though, we get into a game that should have come out a long time ago, it seems like. It did on other platforms, Rime. If you want a indie Zelda-like experience, it's kind of what it has been described as. You can, of course, check that out on this day. Unfortunately, the excitement for this one sort of like seemed to have gone by. $40 retail. Better late than never, I suppose, but I feel like the people that were going to play Rime already played it when it came to the other platforms. But, this still rounds out the big day here. November 14th is absolutely huge for releases. 3 days later, we have another highly anticipated game coming to the Switch. On the 17th of November, Skyrim finally releases. It does have the full content. It has all the DLC from the original game. It does have the exclusive Zelda content as well, where you have a treasure chest, you have an outfit. We've all seen it in the trailers. So Skyrim, another one, and I keep going back to this, but third-party support being important, it feels like November is a big month for that. Bethesda being on here with an Elder Scrolls game, absolutely phenomenal. Skyrim isn't my cup of tea. I've tried it like throughout the years, but I know that people really like it, and it does seem to be the complete edition. So we know that people are excited for it. We're going to try to cover it for you guys as best we can. So Skyrim, full retail, 17th of November. It can be yours. The other release for the day is V, or VVV. I don't know how people pronounce this game. I always get confused about it. But it is a platforming game. It's all about exploring one simple mechanical idea. What if reversed gravity happened when you jumped? So instead of jumping, you just reverse gravity. This game has been out for a very long time. Since like 2010, actually, I think is when it was originally out. And before that, it was like a Flash game as well. It's on 3DS. It's like $5 or something like that. It's a pretty cheap game, but it's a fun game that every time that people play it, they have a really good time with. And I feel like, to go alongside with the big game that is Skyrim, something like V here, it is good for the Switch just because it gives more variety. Another indie darling, absolutely phenomenal indie presence on Switch in general, and V is a great addition to it. That brings us to November 21st when we have two games coming out. The first one is Motocross GP3, the official motocross video game, retailing for $39.99 on November 21st, like I said. So experience all the adrenaline of the motocross with the official champions only video game. MXGP3, the official motocross video game, offers the most involved gaming experience ever with completely new gameplay, race on up to 18 official tracks, and be one of the first to experience the thrill of riding one of 10 two-strokes available. I had to read the description because I do not know anything about motocross, but the game is here and it will be available for those of you that care about this. Again, November 21st for $40. The second game of that day, though, is something much more exciting to me. So much that I couldn't say much. Tiny Metal coming to Nintendo Switch. This is like an Advance Wars inspired game. It's actually like really beautiful. I love the art style. I love like the 3D aspects of it. And they are trying to hit an 8 to 10 hour campaign, which I feel is like perfect for a game like this. And this one is one that Zach and I have really been looking out for. Tiny Metal absolutely looks great gameplay wise, and Advance Wars is awesome. So giving that Wargroove is probably, some time away still. This is going to be perfect. Really excited for this one. That brings us to a completely different day, November 28th. I'm sure there will be some releases between the 21st and the 28th, but they're smaller, probably indie releases that we don't know days of just quite yet. So November 28th does give us Resident Evil Revelations Collection on the Nintendo Switch. That is available for $39.99. You can also download 1 and 2 individually on the eShop, but if you want to get it at retail, where it will be available as a bundle, that is going to cost you $40. Again, that is on the 28th. That takes us to the 30th of the month, where we have Siberia 2. Not much can be said about Siberia 2 that hasn't already been said. It's an older game that has been available on other platforms, but if you like story-based adventure games, Siberia 2 is definitely one that you should check out. Next up, though, for the last 3 games on our list here, we are going to touch on games that don't really have a release date. And I'm not going to spend too much time on them because they're all kind of similar, where they're like, you know, not big at all, but, you know, kind of racing and like rhythm-based. Aqua Moto Racing Utopia, Snow Moto Racing Freedom, and Super Beat Sonics all come out at some point in November. We just don't have a firm date, but I did want to mention them because, you know, honestly, they're kind of the equivalent of what shovelware would be for the Switch, but they're coming out, and we did want to make mention of it just because we know for sure that they're coming in the month. You know, apologies if I did miss any games. I tried to like look as best I could, but there's some stuff that just isn't confirmed to be coming for the month. But, you know, for the most part, we have 20 plus games releasing in the month of November, and, you know, quite a bit of them are huge. You know, Sonic Forces, Doom, Sniper Clips, Batman, LA Noire, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Tiny Metal. There's a bunch of really good stuff, and hopefully this video helped you out as far as knowing what you want to get for the month. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up button if you found the video informative or enjoyed it in any way. What games do you plan on getting for the month of November? Definitely sound off in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. That's pretty much it. We'll see you next time. Switch Force out.